Did you know that during World War I, Nottingham Forest Stadium, the city ground, was transformed into a mustering point and training ground for troops? Beyond wartime valor, Nottingham Forest has gone through trials and tribulations and shown true resilience on the football pitch. How did Nottingham Forest, one of the oldest clubs in English football, rise from humble beginnings to European glory? What challenges did they face along the way, and how did they overcome them? In this video, I will explore Forest's past, delve into their recent struggles and successes, and peer into that crystal ball to see what the future holds for this historic club. Will they continue to defy the odds and soar to new heights, or will they face yet more trials in the seasons to come? If you want to avoid relegation, just like Forest, you should join the 374 bashful Bucks and subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. In the heart of Nottingham, nestled by the banks of the River Trent, lies the home of one of English football's most historic clubs, Nottingham Forest. The story begins in 1865 at the Clinton Arms pub, now known as the Playwright, at the junction of Nottingham's Shakespeare Street and North Sherwood Street. It was here that a group of shinty players, led by J.S. Scrimshaw, decided to form a football club. They named it Nottingham Forest, and chose Garibaldi red for their colors, inspired by the Italian freedom fighters, the Red Shirts. Forest's early matches were played at the Forest Racecourse. This location likely inspired the club's name. The team's first official game was against rivals Notts County on March 22, 1866. By 1870, Forest was making strides in organized football, with William Henley Revis scoring their first goal in league play. In those early years, Forest was more than just a football club. They also had a successful baseball team that became British champions in 1899. Forest's generosity in their early years helped shape other clubs. They donated kits to Arsenal and Everton, and helped secure a playing site for Brighton and Hove Albion. Arsenal's iconic red kits, in fact, were inspired by those donated by Forest. In the 1878-79 season, Forest entered the FA Cup for the first time, beating Notts County in the first round before losing to Old Etonians in the semi-final. Despite an initial rejection to join the Football League in 1888, Forest joined the Football Alliance in 1889, winning the competition in 1892, which led to their entry into the Football League. Their first major triumph came in 1898 when they won the FA Cup, defeating Derby County 3-1 in the final. In the early 20th century, Forest experienced mixed fortunes, including relegation and promotion between divisions. They won another FA Cup in 1959, beating Luton Town 2-1 in the final. The 1966-67 season saw Forest finish as runner-up in the first division and reach the FA Cup semi-final, but a decline followed, resulting in relegation in 1972. The arrival of Brian Clough in 1975 marked a new era. Clough, along with assistant Peter Taylor, led Forest unprecedented success. They won the First Division title in 1978, just a year after promotion, and secured back-to-back European Cups in 1979 and 1980. Under Clough and Taylor, Forest also won 2 League Cups and a European Super Cup, establishing themselves as a dominant force in European football. After Taylor's departure in 1982, Forest struggled to replicate their earlier success. Clough's reign ended with relegation from the Premier League in 1993, marking the end of an era. Frank Clark, a stalwart of Nottingham Forest's 1979 European Cup winning team, returned to the club in May 1993, succeeding the legendary Brian Clough as a manager. Clark's prior management success came at Leyton Orient, whom he led to promotion from the 4th Division in 1989. At Forest, he managed to convince Stuart Pearce to stay and made key signings such as Stan Collymore, Lars Bohinen, and Colin Cooper. This strategic recruitment paid off as Forest finished runners-up in Division 1 at the end of the 93-94 season, earning an immediate return to the Premier League. Forest returned to the top flight saw them finish an impressive third in the 94-95 season, securing qualification for the UEFA Cup, their first European competition entry in the post-Hazel era. However, the sale of Stan Collymore to Liverpool for a national record fee of £8.5 million in the 95-96 season marked the beginning of a challenging period. Despite a strong run to the UEFA Cup quarterfinals, Forest finished 9th in the league. The 96-97 season quickly devolved into a relegation battle, leading to Clark's departure in December. Stuart Pearce, the 34-year-old captain, was installed as player manager on a temporary basis and inspired a brief upturn in fortunes. However, he was replaced in March 1997 by Dave Bassett, who could not prevent relegation. Despite this setback, Bassett led Forest to an immediate return to the Premier League, winning the Division I championship in the 1997-98 season. Yet, his tenure ended in January 1999 with Ron Atkinson stepping in, though he could not stop another relegation. The early 21st century saw Forest struggle below the top flight. Under manager David Platt, the club spent heavily but only managed mid-table finishes. Platt departed in 2001, succeeded by youth team manager Paul Hart, who faced financial constraints due to the collapse of ITV Digital. Hart led the club to a playoff spot in 2002-2003, but was sacked in 2004 amid relegation fears. Subsequent managers, including Joe Kinnear and Greg Megson, failed to stabilize the club, culminating in Forest becoming the first European Cup winners to fall into their domestic third division in 2005. Temporary managers Frank Barlow and Ian McParland brought brief hope, but the club remained inconsistent. Colin Calderwood took over in 2006, achieving promotion back to the championship in 2008. However, this tenure ended with Forest struggling in the second tier. Billy Davies was appointed in 2009, leading the team to a strong third-place finish in the playoffs, but promotion eluded them. The Al-Hassawi family took over the club in 2012, appointing various managers in quick succession, including Sean O'Driscoll and Alex McLeish. Billy Davies returned but was sacked again in 2014. Stuart Pearce and Dougie Friedman also had short stints, with the club narrowly avoiding relegation in 2017 under Mark Warburton. In May 2017, Evangelos Marinikas took over, promising a return to European football within 5 years. Aitor Karanka and Martin O'Neill were appointed, but couldn't bring sustained success. Sabri Lamouchi's tenure saw Forest miss out on the playoffs in 2020. Chris Hughton was appointed but sacked in 2021 after a poor start to the season. The appointment of Steve Cooper in September 2021 marked a turning point. Cooper took Forest from last place to a playoff position, and they ultimately won promotion to the Premier League in 2022. Despite a record-breaking signing spree, Forest faced challenges in the top flight. In October 2022, Cooper signed a new 3-year contract, though results fluctuated. By April 2023, Forest was in the relegation zone, leading to the sacking of sporting director Filippo Giraldi. However, a crucial victory over Arsenal secured their Premier League status for another season. The 2023-24 season marked Nottingham Forest's 158th in their storied history, and their second consecutive campaign in the Premier League. It was a season filled with intense challenges, critical victories, and a dramatic fight for survival. In December 2023, the club sacked Cooper, replacing him with Nuno Espirito Santo. Nottingham Forest ended up finishing 17th in the Premier League, narrowly securing their top-flight status on the final day with a crucial 2-1 victory away at Burnley. Maybe a lowlight, but this season ended up meaning survival. Forest did break the previous record of lowest points tally of any team that survived in the Premier League, a record previously held by West Bromwich Albion in the 2004-2005 season. Forest's campaign was characterized by periods of struggle and resilience, reflecting the intense competition of the Premier League. In the FA Cup, Forest reached the 5th round, showcasing moments of strong performances in the prestigious tournament. The cup run was a bright spot in an otherwise tough season, providing fans with some memorable moments. I'm going to list off some of the key players this season. Chris Wood was a standout performer, emerging as the top goal scorer for Forest with 14 goals in the league and 15 overall. His contributions were crucial in many tight matches, and he often proved to be the difference maker. New signing, Callum Hudson-Odoi, signed for a bargain fee of £3 million. Hudson-Odoi's creativity and pace added a new dimension to Forest's attack. Ola Aina's arrival on a free transfer proved to be a savvy piece of business as he provided solidity and versatility in defense. And finally, Murillo, a young defender that made a significant impact, quickly becoming a key player with his commanding presence in the back. Forest's season was marred by a 4-point deduction due to breaches of the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules. This setback put them at a disadvantage in their fight against relegation. Their appeal against the deduction was unsuccessful, but the team showed commendable spirit to avoid the drop despite this handicap. The season also saw several controversial moments involving VAR, with numerous decisions going against Forest. These incidents added to the frustration and potentially cost the team valuable points, further complicating their campaign. Although this season was a rough one, Forest survived. This was no accident. While the end results weren't always 3 points, Forest consistently put in tough performances for 90 minutes every week. This will be the 3rd season Forest is sticking around in the Premier League, and I don't see why they can't build on their survival this year. Looking ahead, Forest's recruitment strategy will be crucial. While their signings were great, the club needs to navigate the financial fair play regulations carefully to avoid further penalties. Strategic signings and timely sales will be necessary to strengthen the squad without breaching these rules. Priorities will include bolstering the defense, adding creativity in midfield, and ensuring adequate depth in attack. The challenges faced and overcome this season have only strengthened the resolve of everyone associated with Forest, from the players and management to the loyal fan base. As Nottingham Forest prepares for the future, the spirit of the Garibaldi Red continues to inspire. The club's rich history, filled with moments of greatness and resilience, serves as a beacon of hope, with a legacy that spans over a century and a half. Nottingham Forest remains a symbol of perseverance and ambition in English football. The future is bright for this historic club, and as they continue to build and grow, the glory days are sure to return to the city ground. The journey of Nottingham Forest is far from over, and the best is yet to come.